I'm not dead, at least. This doesn't feel like any heaven I've heard of. When I woke, my lungs were burning with the stench of diesel fuel and salt water. The air was thick, heavy enough to crush. Low-slung steel plates hovered inches above my head. I reached out. My fingertips brushed against a bulkhead cold, rusted, unforgiving metal. Where I remember my 70th birthday. It was only a few hours ago. The Hawaii sun was blinding, the kind of perfect day that makes you squint. My grandkids were tearing across the lawn. Someone had placed my old Navy cap on my head, but now I'm lying in a cramped berth. The ship is swaying with that rhythmic, sluggish tilt of a vessel at anchor. No, this movement. I know this rhythm in my bones. I sat up. My knees didn't creak. My back didn't ache. Something was wrong. I looked down at my hands. The skin was taut, the knuckles firm. No liver spots, no tremors. These were the hands of a young man. I looked at the bulkhead. The white paint was yellowed and peeling, scarred by a jagged dent in the metal. I knew that dent. A midnight drill gone wrong. Someone had slammed into the door in the dark. I remembered him. We called him Skinny. Memory hit me like a tidal wave. This wasn't just any ship. This was a destroyer. I stood up, my feet finding the floor by instinct. 3 steps, left turn, 7 more steps, there. I stood in the passageway and stared at the whole number painted on the wall. USS Ward. My heart hit my ribs like a lead weight. The USS Ward, the destroyer assigned to patrol the perimeter of Pearl Harbor. How the hell did I get here? Hey, Mike, what are you staring at? A heavy palm slapped my shoulder. I spun around. A young sailor stood there, barely 20, thin as a rail. Skinny. The name fell out of my mouth before I could think. He blinked, then let out a sharp laugh. Sleeping on the job again? The old man's face is already turning black. You want a one-way ticket to the brig, the captain. My spine stiffened. Aren't you supposed to report for duty? Skinny asked. Shift just changed. We're heading back out on patrol soon. Patrol? Right, this morning we had just finished a routine sweep. Now, we were supposed to be having a short breather before heading back out. I opened my mouth, but the words wouldn't come. Is this a dream? If it's a dream, why is the cold of the metal so real? Why can I smell the grease on his uniform? I stumbled to the porthole. Outside lay Pearl Harbor. The water was a sheet of glass. The sky was a piercing, cloudless blue. It was a perfect Sunday morning. Too perfect. Mike, someone barked from the end of the passageway. Mike, someone barked from the end of the passageway. Captain wants you in his office. Now, I didn't move. I was frantic, digging through the shadows of my mind. This day, this water, this silence. I've lived this before, a lifetime ago, the year I served at Pearl. The day. December 7th, 1941, Sunday. You deaf sailor? Move it, or the captain's gonna have your head. I still didn't move. A second later, 2 pairs of hands seized my arms. I was dragged through the narrow, echoing metal corridors. My boots hollowly struck the deck. A heavy iron door groaned open, then slammed shut. They tossed me into the brig. Cold, damp, the only light came from a single flickering yellow bulb. As the bolt clicked into place, it all came rushing back. Not a fuzzy memory, a cold, hard fact. This isn't a dream. This is the moment before the fire. I looked up at the clock on the wall. 7:38. My breath hitched. I remember this time. The first wave of Japanese planes will scream in from the north at 7:55. And the first bomb, it's going to drop right on Battleship Row. I slumped against the iron door. And then I heard it. Not a siren, not a shot, a low, rhythmic thrumming. A heavy, synchronized vibration approaching from the horizon. Engines. I closed my eyes. I'm really back. And I only have 17 minutes left. The Japanese planes are coming. I know it. It isn't a guess or a hunch. It's a memory. In the life before this, before I woke up, I lived through every second of it. The first bomb struck Battleship Row in Arizona. The explosion ripped the ship open from the inside out. It looked like the hull was being torn in half. I can still see that blinding flash. I can still feel the shockwave that threw me into the air. I dove into the sea. The water was on fire. That isn't a metaphor. The ocean was literally burning. Fuel oils like the surface, flames crawling across the crests of the waves. I remember swimming through, feeling the skin sloughing off my body. The agony was so violent I lost all sense of direction. Someone eventually dragged me onto the sand. The doctors gave me the numbers. Full body burns 30%. I looked in the mirror once. I didn't even recognize the face staring back. Then the war really started. I fought in Europe and across the Pacific. I didn't do it for my country. I did it to keep the memories of that fire at bay. I became a hero. My chest was heavy with medals. But on the day the war ended, while the crowds were cheering in the streets, I stood on the outside looking in. Kids would cry when they saw my face. There was a girl I loved. The last time she looked at me, her eyes were filled with nothing but terror and pity. I didn't believe her. Eventually, I left the city behind. I moved into the mountains, alone. That's how I spent the rest of my life. So what is this now? Is this a punishment? Is fate laughing at me? I look down at my hands. They are young and cold. And yet, I am locked in this flame. If I do nothing, the bombs will fall in a matter of minutes. This time, I might not even get a chance to jump into the water. I might just die again. I lunged for the door, pounding the ground with my fists. Each strike sent a dull, heavy echo through the room. I opened my mouth to scream. The enemies are coming. In that exact moment, the world stopped. Old digital text flickered into existence before my eyes. Warning, you must not reveal your identity
Warning,
as a traveler.
you must not
Exposure
reveal your
will result in
identity as a
immediate termination by
traveler.
the system.
Exposure
Right
will
from
result
fate.
in immediate
If you survive
termination.
until the end of World War II, you will be recorded as an American hero. You will regain everything you lost. Reputation, love, and the power to choose your own future. One last line of text slowly materialized. Reward. Return to the future timeline. Retain peak age. Permanent youth. The words vanished. The world lurched back into motion. I looked up at the clock. 7:42. 17 minutes and 30 seconds until the first wave hits the harbor. This time, I'm not trying to save history. I'm bargaining with fate.